What is up, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a Infernoble Knight combo featuring Disguise the Copycat Hero. This card is a new one-card combo that released in Dude. A lot of people have been talking about it, and I finally, if you guys watched the video, I showcased a kind of like a skeleton list deck profile so you guys could potentially test it out and try. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys two one-card combos. They're the same one-card combo. Both of them are used Disguise, but there's a different pivot point in which you can do to get you to different inboards. One of those inboards being access to Angelica's Ring when you know the post-side deck is coming in. And the cool thing about one-card combos is the rest of your hand can be extenders. I do believe if you add the level 4 Fighting Flame Swords in your opening hand, you're able to get to Gearfried on top of everything else you're able to get on, so do keep that in mind. But it does just kind of... It just depends. I'm not a big fan of this combo, this one-card combo, just because of the level... Not the level, the light attribute. I don't think... I've always been a fan of the fluidity, but also in the same sense when we played Connector and Dolphin when Exold was illegal... Or Exold was legal, not illegal. It's illegal now. When the Exold was legal, the Connector being a light didn't really matter. You know, like it didn't matter too much just because of how good it was. I don't think this card has the same powerhouse as Connector is, just because of what it is, right? But I do believe that it still is a good working combo. If you guys want to get access to these type of videos early, hit that join button down below and become a member. Also, if you guys just want to help support the channel, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell. And check out the links down in the description below. Check out our sponsor, Dueling Guard. Using the link down there in the description at checkout, you will get 15% off your order. And everything that, goes in the channel gets put right back into it. Currently, no face cam because my face cam finally broke. So that's the next thing on the budget to end up getting here. So without further ado, with all that stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and start out our combo here. You're going to normal summon out the Copycat. Copycat's going to grab you the Cursed Copycat Noble Arms, which is it's just kind of cool that they made another Noble Arms card. Instead of giving direct support, they decided to go this route. We're going to use its effect to summon out Madrot. If you're an old school Infernoble Knight player or an old school Noble Knight player, which I assume you're probably both, you'll recognize this card. This card was kind of crazy back in the day when Noble Knights, OG Noble Knights was still a thing. But you're able to summon this guy out and use its effect to summon out Yugioh by destroying the Cursed Copycat Noble Arms. I forgot its name for a second. But if you are good at Infernoble combos and lines, you know what this means. You have a level 1 tuner plus a level 4 monster. That's going to give us into our Angelica, which essentially is the name of the deck now. Get to Angelica, or insulate your place to Angelica. Angelica grabs us the Noble Arms. You activate Noble Arms. And if you had the Fighting Flame Swordsman in your opening hand, instead of grabbing Durandal here, you would grab Almus. But since we're showing the one-card combo, you grab Durandal. You go and activate Durandal here to equip to Angelica. You do not want to use Angelica's effect here, because as you guys can clearly see, we don't have an equip to or any way to trigger her effect. So we're going to use this Durandal to add the Fighting Flame Swordsman, and then use Yugioh's effect, banishing itself from the graveyard to summon out the Fighting Flame Swordsman. Its effect will trigger on summon, searching out our Fighting Flame Sword, and then just go ahead and use the Fighting Flame Sword. All these clicks to go ahead and add ourselves the Dark Flare Swordsman. Getting Dark Flare Swordsman, we activate its effect, sending the Fighting Flame Dragon, summoning itself out, and then just go ahead and use its effect here to tribute itself out to summon out the other Fighting Flame Swordsman from the deck. So if you guys remember, if you use Yugioh, this is being treated as a tuner at the moment. So you have two options. This is the pivot, which you guys will get to see. This is where you either make the Flashy Sports Knight and get access to Angelica's Angel Ring, or we make Lavalval Extra Lord. And we're just going to show the Extra Lord route this time right here. Do take note, I think after we use the Copycat, we are locked into Warriors. So you're Warrior locked here. Triggering the Fighting Flame Sword to go ahead and dump Salamandra. Salamandra's effect will trigger to grab us the trap. So right here, you guys can see we have 2 forms of disruption off of one card already. So now we just got to get to Charles, which is 2 forms of disruptions by himself. Using Salamandra, target the Angelica, and then chain the Angelica here to go ahead and bob out. You want to send the Ogier here, and then you're going to summon out Roland. Go ahead and use the Ogier to equip itself to the Roland, or you can equip this to the Lavalval Extra Lord, it doesn't matter. But you're just going to use the Noble Arms Museum to move it forward right away. Using Ogier's effect on summon, you don't want to send Gearfried here because you have no way to get it back. This is where, if you had opened one of the Fighting Flame Swordsmans already, you could have used the Noble Arms Museum to go ahead and add yourself Almus, and then you could send Gearfried and then use Almus to end up grabbing it back, etc., right? But in this case, we're just going to go ahead and send the Malgus here because Malgus is going to send itself and then give us a draw, which is going to replenish the one-card combo, so it's like self-sustaining. But it's important is you want to leave one of the equips in your graveyard. So depending which one you shuffle back, I'm going to keep Durandal because Durandal has recursion. So I'm just going to shuffle back these 3 Fire Warriors. And we're going to get to pick up a card. It doesn't matter what we draw. And then we're going to go ahead and synchro here into Charles. the Emperor himself will go ahead and use the effect of Roland to go ahead and equip itself to the Charles. Do not want to use Charles' effect here, and then we'll link off into Emperor Charles the Great. Using Charles the Great effect to equip Charles, so it becomes Charles, and then you end up setting the trap here. We'll just go ahead and move to the end phase and resolve some effects. So Angelica comes back. The Charles will then get to equip the Durandal, and then you get to equip your choice of whatever you want. We'll go ahead and equip the Turpin here. So what do we have right here? So one card got us to a Charles that is a non-targeting pop, a spell and trap negate, and then a Lavavel Extralord, which is a targeting pop, a quick effect when a monster effect activates its effect on the field, or in their hand, quick effect, destroy it, right? And you get to burn, which is kind of nice. And then we have the Book of Moon. So currently you're staring down 4 disruptions right here off of one card, which is insane to think about. This is the type of combo economy we really want when we're talking about one card combos. So yeah, so this is like a crazy inboard, you know what I mean? Charles can't be targeted. If he is destroyed, you get to reborn back from the graveyard. Either your Ogier, your Malgus to potentially, get destroyed or sent to battle, by battle or something like that to draw another card. The Fighting Flame. You have a lot of targets in the graveyard to reborn off of the Durandal if it does end up getting destroyed, but again, this is pretty crazy right here. So I'm going to go ahead and back it up here and show you the pivot and what you do if you want to get access to Angelica's Angel Ring, which if you're playing against, like, for example, it's like Sky Strikers, the Magistorm deck, or what do you call it, the Radiant Typhoon deck, or you're just you're going into game 3 and the Regekis, Dark Rulers, and the Lightning Storms are coming in, or Evenlys, and you need to hold Charles's negate for a fat Evenly, because an Evenly would go hard here. So yeah, so I'll back it up and show you guys the pivot point. Okay, guys, so this is where the last combo, and like kind of like the pivot happens, right? So like you can either make Lavavel Explode here, or you can make this other card, which I'm going to show you real quick, which is the Chanbar, the flashy Sports Knight. So we go ahead and synchro here to Chanbar, the Sports Knight, triggering the effect here of the Fighting Flame Swordsman to go ahead and dump Salamandra to grab us, of course, the Salamandra Chain. So there we go. We get our Book of Moon right here. Now we're going to go ahead and use the Chanbar. Goodness, so many Bar, Salamandra. I'm just confusing names here to target the Angelica. But this is where we want to chain Angelica to go ahead and dump ourselves our Ogier and summon out our Roland. And then the cool thing is that Chanbar here will attempt to resolve as much as possible, dumping Angelica's Angel Ring. Go ahead and use the effect of Ogier to equip to Roland. Wow, I cannot pronounce names today to save my life. To either one of these. It doesn't matter. Using Museum, we're going to move it forward. And then Ogier is going to dump down, not Malgus time, but you have to dump Turpin. We send Turpin. Go ahead and use Salamander to equip it. It doesn't matter what you equip it to, just so long it's equipped, so that way we can trigger out the Turpin here to special summon itself. Turpin will special summon itself. Then we get to overlay for our Dempsey. Dempsey then will go ahead and activate its effect. We'll go ahead and search ourselves out our Renaud. Add Renaud. And then we can just go ahead and special summon out Renaud here. Renaud, excuse me. To go ahead and use Renaud to go ahead and grab us back our Dark Flare Swordsman for follow-up. Now here, we go ahead and make Charles this way. We use the level 1 Renaud and the Chanbar to go ahead and make Charles. Now we activate the effect of Dempsey to go ahead and use its effect. To detach has to be Turpin, and then we'll use Turpin's effect to go ahead and equip to Charles. Then, as you guys can tell, we have Charles that's equipped. We'll go ahead and turn it into our Link 1 Charles the Great, equipping down here Charles. Now we go ahead and use these last 2 monsters. We have been warrior locked since the beginning to go ahead and make SP Little Knight. And we go ahead and set ourselves our trap card. And then we move on to the end phase. So in the end phase, Angelica will come back. And then we get to resolve Charles the Great, picking up here Angelica's Angel Ring. And then we'll go ahead and equip from the deck. You could equip Malgus, but we'll equip the Oliver here. So this is the inboard, right? We have 2 forms of disruption off of Charles the Great. SP Little Knight, that's 3 forms of disruption. Salamander with Chain, that's 4 forms of disruption. And of course, the Angelica's Angel Ring with 5 forms of disruption right here. And Angelica's Angel Ring is just, able to stop all those blowout cards. Super Poly, you name it, droplets. Angelica's Angel Ring can negate on resolution. And we have the follow-up in the form of Dark Flare Swordsman, going to be able to essentially dump us the another copy of the Famous Swordsman we need from the extra deck to fuse, worst case scenario, with the Salamander with Chain. You could have equipped Malgus, like I said, and then Charles popped Malgus, and then once Charles popped the Malgus, Malgus shuffle back 3 draw, so your ending hand would be 2 cards now instead of the 1 card it took to stop. So you technically went +1 card advantage from a 1-card combo, which is kind of crazy, but yeah, that is it for this combo video, guys. Like I said, stay tuned for more content. Hopefully, once I finally get like the cards in my hand, I'll drift off into like 2-card combos with the deck. But I felt like it was really important to get, you know, you guys the 1-card combos out there for you. So, yep, stay tuned, stay safe, stay healthy, you know, all that fine stuff. Charles and Team COG.